show you guys the beautiful view.
We don't know the rules and regulation of this.
Right, do you think it's okay in any country to record young children?
We're just seeing a lot more of this like predatory behavior from these newcomer groups of people.
I was thinking, imagine being disabled, because they go through a lot, it's hard. They got it bad, it's tough. Imagine if you woke up and you looked in the mirror and you were Indian. And I know that's funny, but actually picture it, like your face, you're waking up, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You look, you look in the bathroom mirror, and you're f***ing Indian. Game over.
Change Indian to any other group, and this level of open hostility would be absolutely unacceptable in our current emotion-driven societies in the West that seek to not hurt the feelings of anyone at any time. But currently it is, and anti-South Asian sentiment in the West is a growing issue. But why is it, and why now? There have been very small communities of South Asians in most Commonwealth nations as well as the US since at least the 1980s, but it would seem as though something has changed. Now, on the one side, you'll get all of this is rooted in the ever overused word hate. And on the other, you'll get something along the lines of the cultural divide is a chasm that seems impossible to bridge. Given the massive numbers arriving in Western nations daily, well, indeed, for many in the West, the sheer size of those arriving is a level where locals are beginning to feel like outsiders in their own communities. And if that is the case, one doesn't have to be an anthropologist to recognize that tensions were bound to arise. And that's because whenever you have different groups that are being forced to share the same space, tensions always arise. Just look at the tensions between the various communities in the South Asian subcontinent itself. But there's more to that, I think, when it comes to the West and the almost normalization of anti-South Asian sentiment. And it has many roots and many reasons. Economic rivalry in countries where standards of living are dropping fast, and that would be the West, of course. Colonial and Cold War baggage, and to be honest, specific cultural habits that rub Western people the wrong way, especially when they're practiced in their countries. Strangely enough, and I will get to this later on in the video, I also think the removal of the character Apu from the Simpsons TV show a few years back ties into this, reflecting how cultural clashes and stereotypes, well, they fuel dislike, now very prevalent on social media. I should also say that this is not an indictment, but just observations made by myself and countless others. I should also say for the record, I have been to South Asia, as well as Southeast Asia, all of East Asia, and long-term viewers will know that the trip to India almost killed me, given my immune system was not as strong as that of the local people. Also, I do find South Asian, that being Indian, philosophy, religion, and history very interesting. Thus, I'm not advocating the current sense of discontent and rising anti-Indian sentiment, only trying to explain it. I should also say I do have Indian friends, and like anyone one-to-one, they can be wonderful people. Also then, when speaking of navigating tension and discomfort, sometimes we all need help managing stress in our daily lives, and that's where Fume comes in. A handy tool to help you stay calm and focused no matter the situation. Everyone's got bad habits, and sometimes it's not about quitting, it's about finding a better alternative. Fume, the sponsor of today's video, has created an innovative flavored air device that's perfect for those moments when you want to break free from bad habits and still have something enjoyable to reach for. Fume's award-winning flavored air device allows you to draw flavor into your mouth, and it's not a vape, it's an alternative that can help you quit bad habits, and it can be used anywhere as there's no electronics, vapor, or combustion. There's not even any batteries. There's no nicotine, and it's not addictive, and it does come at a fraction of the cost of those habits that you're looking to leave behind. It's a very cost-effective alternative that has helped over 500,000 people replace bad habits with enjoyable flavors like crisp mint and orange vanilla. It's designed for portability as well as to be dexterously played with. And with flavors like herbal teas rather than combustion-based habits, it helps support you in building better routines. So go to tryfume.com/blackpigeon or scan the QR code on the screen now. And when you do, you'll receive your free topper with a journey pack, enhancing the experience of breaking bad habits with a very satisfying substitute. So just as a note, I'm using South Asian interchangeably with India and Indian as this video goes on. So then, anti-South Asian sentiment, well, it has deep roots. British colonialism painted South Asia as a land of depravity. In his 1796 work, Observations on the State of Society Among the Asiatic Subjects of Great Britain, Charles Grant highlighted several South Asian cultural practices the British found objectionable. These included sati, which is widow burning, female infanticide, child marriage, and the rigid caste system. Grant viewed these practices as evidence of moral and religious depravity, and also they suggested a society lacking in the basic tenets of morality and order. Grant's views were influential in shaping British as well as Western attitudes toward South Asia, casting South Asians as untrustworthy and or backward. During the Cold War, India's Soviet ties didn't help, reviving the ugly other narrative in Americans' minds. Today, many Westerners still see South Asia as chaotic, filthy, and its people lacking a moral compass, and that's thanks to the proliferation of online scam artists originating out of South Asia. And as such, these sentiments linger like a foul, malodorous stench. Fast forward to 2025, and economics play a huge role. The majority in almost all electorates in the West would like to see mass demographic and culturally transformative immigration greatly reduced or halted altogether. Thus, during the last election cycle, the major controversy of Elon Musk supporting the expansion of US H-1B visas, with the majority going to South Asians, well, that controversy erupted. Interestingly, this has hit ahead just in the last week in a video I made a couple of days ago on a new website that helps Americans find jobs that companies are only advertising in hidden ways that no one can see, so they can then go on to claim that they need H-1B visa applicants. But of course, there has been pushback from South Asians that want the website taken down. Because if any American applies for a job in America, the visas will not be distributed. And the South Asians, and the Indians in particular, believe that if Americans take the jobs of Indians in America, then this website is, quote, stopping people from pursuing their dreams, and that in doing so they are, quote, bad people, closed quote. And of course, there is always the issue of housing, especially in Canada, Australia, and the UK, but I think everyone watching this will understand this issue. And there is, and it should be noted, because of the sheer size and number of South Asians arriving in small countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Ireland, the cultural differences between the natives and these new arrivals is an ancient, uncrossed ocean wide. Some South Asian habits and or unfamiliar food smells, for example, well, they do irate some people. Places like Brampton, Surrey, and many other cities in Canada are now informally known as India 2.0 on social media because of the rapid shift in demographics, with locals complaining about overcrowding or foreign behaviors, as well as the massive strain that is being put on social services. And it should be said, these aren't just quips. They reflect a deeper failure to bridge cultural gaps by governments that have introduced massive numbers of people in a very, very short amount of time, and have done so with little integration and just telling the natives to celebrate diversity. And in doing so, these governments, well, they're not helping, but harming all of the communities involved. And now, of course, there are specific Indian cultural habits that some Westerners find curious at best.
I'm at the beach and I want to show you guys the beautiful view. God damn, I can't even see the water.
Someone is filming us.
I'm not being discreet.
Am I getting him? Okay.
Wait.
John. Bodyguard.
Daddy. Someone's filming.
And then there is the cultural practice of staring, and especially at children in public spaces like swimming pools and playgrounds. And Westerners on social media often report Indian men staring intensely, which feels creepy or predatory in cultures where eye contact is less common. Reddit, X, and Facebook threads and online forums in their multitude frequently mention Indian men ogling kids at pools in countries like Canada, Australia, as well as in the UK, sparking outrage. Now, to be fair, this could stem from cultural differences, as staring is less taboo in South Asia's crowded communal settings. But to Westerners, it's unsettling, especially when kids are involved.
Madam, sir, madam, please. Sir,
No, nobody's going to help you in this situation.
then what I have to do?
The police are going to take you, simple as.
I don't know the rules and regulation of this.
Right, do you think it's okay in any country to record young children?
See, I'm not understanding your English properly.
Right.
Please.
Is it okay to record children in a park? No.
I don't know.
No.
In
No.
India, it is not problem.
No.
I don't know.
Before
Sir.
you come to this country, you need to learn the rules and the... Thank you.
Please.
No.
Please.
This
help
is not
me.
India, so sorry now.
If you're going to come to this country, you need to learn the rules and the law. It's not okay to record children.
I don't know all
You
the
know
rules.
what you're doing in the park anyway? What you doing in
And another thing that is not brought up because it's politically incorrect is the predominantly male nature of the migrants arriving. In Canada, for example, the country has now a population with a large gender imbalance because of migration and the pressures that this is causing on interacting with local women, given the fact that groping women is another flashpoint in the West. Well, it needs to be addressed. Reports of South Asian men touching women inappropriately in public on buses and trains, in pubs, on the streets, well, they surface in Western media as well as social media, such as the 2024 CBC article on the harassment in Toronto's transit system, or on, again, as said previously, countless videos uploaded to social media.
Over time, I noticed there was a lot more newcomers, especially more Punjabi kind of guys, which was fine. Like, I honestly had no problem with it. These men specifically were always groping and touching women and like coming in these circles and just dancing in a way that made a lot of people feel really uncomfortable. But the other thing that I've noticed is we're just seeing a lot more of this like predatory behavior from these newcomer groups of people. And I think it's just so terrible how they can hide behind something like racism, and women who have been like actually groped in a bar are not allowed to come out and say this or say that we feel uncomfortable. Like, I have had to leave the bar so many times and I don't even feel safe going to bars anymore.
And then with regards to perceptions and attitudes, a July 2025 Deccan Herald article which cited an OkCupid study. Well, it showed that South Asian, Indian women are least likely to respond to Indian men on dating apps, which has just added jet fuel to the perceptions of Indian men who are in the West in highly disproportionate numbers to the women. Well, it just fuels the perception as they being undesirable or frustrated. Some Westerners point to behaviors like staring or inappropriate comments blaming cultural differences. Well, South Asia's conservative norms obviously now are clashing with Western dating freedom. And South Asian American women, well, they sometimes echo these concerns, citing discomfort with traditional gender expectations. However, these stereotypes thrive and they persist. And how, as I alluded to at the beginning of this video, how does the Apu controversy from The Simpsons tie into this mess? Apu, the Quickie Mart owner, was a hard-working Indian immigrant with a PhD, but his thick accent supposedly made him a stereotype. And by 2020, the character was sidelined, not recast or reimagined. Many, of course, praised this, calling Apu, quote, racist, closed quote. But others said it erased a positive South Asian figure. He was a community pillar who was more than a caricature. I would argue that Apu, always honest, quick-witted, sometimes brave, and always loyal, was actually a very positive representation of South Asians. And without him, negative views, like South Asians being scammers or something worse, have come to fill the void in popular perceptions and go unchallenged by nuanced representation, as was the case with Apu. Now, this video could have been 10 times as long. I could have gone into many other areas. Maybe some of you can explore them in the comment section below, but I do know that most people now have the attention span of a fruit fly. So if you're still here, thanks very much. So, in the end, what are we looking at here? Well, I think that the current situation is a toxic brew of failed government policies, crumbling economic prospects, extreme cultural disconnect, and behaviors that might well be totally acceptable in one place but do not find a warm reception in another. Also, the sheer scale and transformative nature of the current intake of people from South Asia into the West, well, that is something that needs to be addressed. Tough fixes will be necessary, as approximately 22% of Indians expressed a desire to migrate to the United States alone, which is almost the current population of the country in 2025. South Asia is an endless well of people that want to live in the West, and Western states seem eager to welcome an ever-increasing number. Now, if this is the case, something has to be done, obviously. Whether that be curtailing the numbers and allowing for the absorption of the people already arrived and smaller numbers that will arrive to be better facilitated and integrated. As well, what also needs to be addressed is the gender balance of those arriving. We need more women to be coming. Or probably the better or the best option would be to help India and all of South Asia create a society and countries that South Asians want to live and stay in, rather than desperately try and flee to the West. Indians, South Asians, East Asians, Southeast Asians, all people are just like anyone else everywhere. Some are good, some are bad. But I think what we are witnessing now is the end result, the end game, if you will, of the erasure of Western borders, and only a fool would have ever thought it would take place without incident, tensions, or community backlashes. So what do you think? Well, leave me your thoughts and civil discourse in the comment section below. And of course, if you'd like to help this channel, ways of doing so are in the description. It'd be very much appreciated. Also, you can find me as well on the usual social media. And remember to check out Fume, the sponsor of today's video, and their amazing product that can help you make better habits. It's never too late. And with that, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.